Hey guys, welcome back to the Dark Wind channel. This is your boy She, or Grim, whichever one you want to call me. Just coming to talk to you guys today about a new video that I'm doing today. It's about an anime called Wise Man's GrandChild, as you clearly seen in the thumbnail. And I'm just going to give you a brief summary to tell you what I'm going to talk about for it. So, Wise Man's GrandChild is about a guy who worked in I want to say a regular 9 to 5, basically, just a regular office job. And, one day he was on his way home late night after work, and he got hit by a car. And he ends up dying, he ends up getting resurrected. He comes back to life as a human in another world filled with magic. And he is raised by a man named Merlin. Now Merlin is called the Wise Man, and he's also being raised by a woman named, they call her the Guru, but her name is Melida. Now, growing there, he had named him Shen, and growing up there, Shen basically learned how to hunt with magic, how to take care of himself with magic, basically. And so, being raised by them, they taught him how to make magic gear, several different magic spells, how to defend himself, just a plethora of things dealing with magic. But the one thing they did not teach him was common sense. He has no common sense about the world he lives in currently. So it's kind of him just experiencing the world. At the same time, you're going to have demons. You're going to have, I don't know if they're going to have other magical creatures, but as far as I know, they're going to have demons in there. The best part about the show is, what I love about it is, yes, it has magic and everything, so which is normal for most anime nowadays. But the thing about it is, it's all based off of visuals. Where most magic, when you see, you have to enchant the spell and everything else like that, but it's too cliche. So, they actually have a setup where as long as you can visualize what you want your magic to do, it's possible. So I'll also be getting into that too, about the power scaling and everything else and how they do that and stuff like that. Anyway, but it's basically coming up. Shen is basically learning who he is growing up in this new world. He meets a love interest. I'm not going to say who. You'll find out once I get further into the show. But he's going to meet a love interest, and he's going to meet her in the first episode. He's going to meet a group of friends who are going to pretty much be there for him like this. They're going to be like family, kind of, basically, because technically when he first came to that world, the only family he had died, and he was adopted and took in by Merlin and Melida, which I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video. Anyway, so he basically sits here and he is learning how he goes to school with these new friends of his, and they're basically going to teach him and his fellow classmates more about magic and more about their world and just basic reading and writing and arithmetic, the normals, the stuff we learn here in everyday life while we're in school. On top of that, he also learns, besides magic, he's also taught by someone else on how to, fight with the sword, so that he just doesn't basically rely on his magic. He can also take care of himself in hand-to-hand combat. Now, Shen is pretty much, I want to say, an airhead, but because he doesn't have common sense about his world, he does stuff that's just, for their world, stupid. Or it's basically too much. It's like, oh crap, what the hell? Like, why is this? I did this, but you're all looking at me like I'm crazy. Well, you have no common sense of this real world. So Shen basically sat here and he was basically going around and just assuming that he knew how the world was going to work in a certain senses, but that's not the case. So as time progressed, Shen started to realize he was much more powerful than the average, witch or wizard in the new world he was reborn into. And he, of course, he's going to tell the secret of how he got there and stuff like that, which is all fine and dandy. Now, don't expect when he gets there, don't expect just because, he doesn't know his parents, don't think his lineage is going to be, oh, he's royalty, he's a duke or nothing. No, I'm sorry, don't get me wrong, that's not bad, but it's too cliche and it's too overdone for a lot of anime when it comes to isekai. And this is an isekai where he is not in any type of royal family or any type of hierarchy at all. He just literally lives with an old man who is a hero, yes, but he doesn't have any real social standing other than him being a hero. Now, he was not a hero who was summoned. He was just someone who was born in that world, and he just became a hero of a particular kingdom. So it's not like he's a hero who saved the world from the Demon King or anything like that. No, he was just a guy who saved his kingdom, this kingdom from a demon. Now all demons in that world are powerful, but there's no one demon who's more powerful than the other, except for one or a few others. But I'm not going to get into that right now. Anyway. So as you go further onto the anime, besides seeing how his life is going to progress and how he is basically coming up as a young adult in this world, you're going to see how hilarious it is, because I do find the anime hilarious. I do feel like it has its moments, but at the same time I do feel like it's a little cliche with certain parts, but those little cliche parts are, to me, what help make the anime, because it's not like every other anime that you see out here. It's actually quite different compared to a lot of other anime, based off of not just the power scaling or anything, because there's no real major power scaling per se. It's kind of iffy about that, but like I said, I'm going to do more research for that, and I'll get into that later on. But anyway, there's no major real power scaling for it, so it's basically him. How can I say this? He's just becoming OP. Basically, he's overpowered for no reason, and not saying that he didn't work to get there, because he did work to get there. It's not like, oh, I was just born OP, I got all this max power. No. He worked to get to where he was. It took him from the time he was young enough to learn magic all the way up until he reached adulthood for that world, which is in most anime, and not even just most isekai anime, and also that was back in our times of kinda, I could be wrong, but I feel like it might be also back in our history too, where once you reach the age of 15, you're considered an adult. So at the age of 15, he's already an adult. He can go out, he can have a career, he can have kids. He's an adult, like how we do it in 18 currently, but back in those days it was like 15. So anyway, in the anime, at the age of 15, he's becoming an adult, even though he's technically still going to school. He's just learning about the world that he's living in, and it's I do wish that for the anime there were a lot more magical creatures. I do wish we got to see elves, dwarves, fairies, pixies, gnomes, vampires, and stuff like that. But the most you get is, so far, because there's only one season, I don't know if there's a manga for it. I do plan to look for that. It's called, they're called demons, or they're demons, but they're not technically demons. So don't expect them to have horns and wings and tails or be these grotesque looking creatures, with supernatural powers. In their world, demons, or demonoids as they call them, are basically humans who have an abundant amount of magic. And the only way you can tell the difference is their magic feels like killing intent or malice. And you can tell the difference because their eyes are literally, for everything from the white part all the way to the pupil, is bloodshot red with a golden sliver, just picture like a snake eye or like a dragon's eye in a sense, or something like that. But it's like a slither of gold or red or whatever. But most of the pupil is most of the eyeball is red. Now I might be wrong with the colors. I gotta rewatch it again, but I do remember most of the eyeball is definitely red. Anyway. These demonoids, they don't have a hierarchy, nothing like that, because there is no demon king or no demonoid king. So don't expect to go in looking for a demon princess, a demon king, or royalty, or dukes, or stuff like that, or marquises, because none of that's going on with the demonoids. It's pretty much just humans who have an abundant amount of magic, and most of the time, it seems like that the magic in that world basically causes the person to go rampant. They lose their mind, and it's not even just people, it's also animals as well. So any animal or person who is overrun by their own magical power, and that magical power exceeds what they can control, they become a demonoid. And they basically become mindless monsters, is what they were supposed to, but that's not the case, which you will find out once you watch it, or if you decide to watch it. And also, if when you come back to the channel, I'll also explain to it then. Anyway, But other than that, there's only 12 episodes. There's not a lot of episodes. I do wish there was more. It is really good. Personally, it's really funny, and I will be going, like I said, I'll be going over the characters, their power scaling, and stuff like that. In the thumbnail, you will actually see a picture of the main character, his best friend named August or Og, and his love interest. I'm not going to say her name, but she is cute, and she has a very, very, in anime sense, it's a cute voice. Don't expect her to be like a Sakura or a Kagome from Inuyasha. They're not helpless. She's not helpless and nothing like that. I mean, she kind of starts off like that, and which is a little bit irritable. But she learns to take care of herself, and she gets strong enough where she knows if Shin is not there, she can take care of herself. But anyway, that's yeah. So it's a good anime. I will get further into their power scaling. I will get further into each character analysis, of their backgrounds, and their abilities, and just their overall personalities and stuff like that. And if they're making a second episode, if there's a manga, I will also talk about whether these people, maybe they might get betrayed by someone they know in the group or not. Who knows? But I'll be doing further stuff on that. And also, I'm going to be doing another video coming up, and that one is going to be on a manga called... Wait a minute, let me get the manga. This is the manga. My status as an assassin obviously exceeds the heroes, so I will be getting into that. I have read the manga a lot more, a lot. And even though that's only volume 2, which I only have 2 volumes of the book, I have read it on my phone through a manga app. So if you guys want to know about it, let me know. I can, tell you guys about it. And I do apologize for the late video. I do know that it is late, and I do know we have a whole bunch of other videos we have to get out there. We still have to do Yu Yu Hakusho for you guys. We have to finish Invincible for you guys. I also saw that they have a new show based off of Invincible. I don't know if it's just like each season of Invincible is basically based off of each person's background or anything like that. I'm not sure. Like I said, I have to read the comics. My dad told me about it, so I have to get into the comics and see about it. But I do know it's about Eve, how she got her powers, and who she truly is. We do plan to watch that, so you guys can tell us what you know, but don't spoil too much for us, because we kind of want to watch it ourselves, because we are loving it. But if you have any other stuff you want us to check out, whether it be a manga, a movie, anime, you name it, if you can name it and you think it's going to be good and we should check it out, we'll check it out. And even if it's not something we personally like, we'll still do it for you guys, because you guys are our followers. We're here to help you. You're our subscribers, and we just want to have you guys have a good time. So please like, follow, and subscribe. It is a really big help to the channel. And I will see you guys next time on my next video. Thanks. Love you guys, and watch the channel, or Grim's gonna come for you.